back to my window with the Bend Film Fest just now, one day away. We're taking a look all week long at some of the films. Phil Bussey's here from The Source. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this film takes a little bit more of a somber turn. It's called Finding Hillywood.
Finding Hillywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Monday we talked about Bending Steel. There's a couple really wonderful documentaries throughout the festival, Bending Steel being one. When Ali came to Ireland is a fantastic movie. I mean, anything about Muhammad Ali, I'm going to be charmed by. But it was actually a really wonderful film about strong black men in the early 70s. Strong in terms of not just able to punch your lights out, but strong in terms of character.
Well, I enjoy the parallels of that, just that in itself, but yeah.
And then Finding Hillywood, I think is one of the best films in the festival in terms of why movies matter. 1994, a million people in Rwanda slaughtered. I mean, one of the worst genocides, obviously, in world history. Coming out of that, obviously people had their personal tragedies and putting their lives back together, and a collection of people did it by learning how to make film. And this movie falls around a few of them as they go from town to town, set up movie screens, show the films that have been made, some about the Rwandan genocide, and some just about normal day-to-day, life. And it's really, for such a dark, heavy tragedy that it came out of, it's really an uplifting film, surprisingly.
A lot of resiliency overtones.
Yeah, right. And the central character, or one of the main characters, this guy who, mother was slaughtered, was murdered, and he had 10 years of drug, alcohol, mental issues, dealing with the emotional upheaval, and really finding himself and finding a purpose in showing films to other people. It shows the importance of why movies matter.
Yeah, let's take a look at Finding Hillywood.
It is not a day that passes without me meeting a genocide survivor, orphan, or someone who has lost a loved one during the genocide. I went to try and look for my mother. I was told that they killed all of them.
How else can you transcend trauma, the suffering, of the magnitude of our experience? Only film can do that. Cinema as a mirror. This is where my sky is. So I said, let me just create an institution that will be training a pool of young men and women. Come in, learn as fast as you can, and you're going to learn the basic skills.
I was jobless, walking on the streets. I saw an announcement inviting people to learn to make films. And I found others who shared my dream of making movies. Action!
That's how Hillywood started. Setting up the screen by itself is a spectacle and creates something magical.
We have thousands of people come and watch the movie.
Young people in a stadium next to a mass grave.
In a span of 2 years, is the mentor.
This is the power of film.
Really about rebuilding a country and also facing your past too.
Yeah, and managing some of the psychological wounds.
Right.
And trying to move on after something so unfathomable had happened. I mean, both individually and then just collectively, like you were saying, to the country. I think one of the shortcomings of documentary makers can be that they find a really enticing topic. We talked about this earlier this week with Bending Steel. You find an enticing topic, and then you think that that will carry the whole film.
Yeah.
You know, it really does require strong storytelling, compelling characters in there, and that's what's Finding Hillywood does. I mean, it's a collection of profiles of men and a couple women who are trying to make films and are trying to use that to rebuild communities in Rwanda, and it's a well done, it's lush, beautiful cinematography in this movie, and just it is very much worth watching, learning about Rwanda 19 years after the genocide, where the country is. And, you know, I think that's one of the charms of the Bend Film Festival as well, is that drawing films from all over the country, from Ireland, from Czechoslovakia, all over the world.
Yeah.
Ireland and Czechoslovakia and Rwanda. Finding Hillywood is, I highly recommend that people go to see it, and you know, we'll learn quite a bit, and I also think we'll walk out being very inspired.
Yeah, well, an amazing set of films in this town this week altogether. So
yes,
Finding Hillywood is at the Oxford Hotel on the 11th and Regal Cinemas Old Mill on the 12th. Thanks again, Phil.
Certainly.
See you tomorrow for one more.
Yes, see you tomorrow.
All right. My Window will be right back.